Hey guys, MC Mura here, and today we're gonna talk about Street Fighter 6 stuff that doesn't make much sense to me. And this video is obviously in the spirit of fun, so please take everything with a grain of salt. We're all trying to have fun here. There's not that much going on with Street Fighter 6 recently. We're waiting for the Ingrid update. Who knows if that will come with a balanced patch or not, or maybe hopefully some system changes / improvements. We will see. But for the time being, I wanted to talk about some stuff in Street Fighter 6 that doesn't make much sense to me, and they will be different things across the game. So let's have some fun with it. Starting first with the information on the character select screen. Now I'm talking about stuff here like the character descriptions, right, where they talk about their gameplay type, their effective range, and ease of use. And the idea behind this is they want to give you some information on the character, so that if you're just new to the game and oh my god, look, like you're trying to check them out, you can have an idea on how these characters may function. But I find it hilarious how wrong most of the information actually is. And I find it even funnier that Capcom never bothered to update them. It's been 3 years, but this is incredibly misleading. Well, for some characters. For example, you check out Luke, they're saying he is a standard character, he's effective from the mid-range, and his ease of use is normal, which is like middle of the road. You know what? That seems to make sense. But then you will come across a character like Kimberly, who is speedy, normal, okay, but her effective range is mid-range. Like what? Obviously Kimberly is a mix-up character. She wanna get in your face and mix you up, so that to me is a little bit weird. But the information here is incredibly inconsistent. Like you then come across a character like Juri, and her effective range is close range, which, you know what? Alright, maybe because Juri have like a blossom block standing medium punch, so they think that Juri is much more effective at close range. But then you find a character like Sagat, whose effective range is long range. Like, I would say Sagat is one of the scariest characters in the game, point blank, because he's gonna keep knocking on the door with a standing medium punch. So he's genuinely one of the scariest characters at that close range. So that is kind of random. And then you check out the difficulty, and the ease of use is where things are completely all over the place, right? So you get characters like Rashid, who is hard. Okay, I can see that. You get characters like Ed, who have a brilliant description: tricky, long range, hard. Or Elena, tricky, mid range, hard. That seems to make sense. But then you get M. Bison, who is hard, and anyone who plays a game, and I played a ton of M. Bison. Bison is one of the easiest characters in the game to play. Why would Bison be hard? Why would Sagat be easy? Sagat is easy. I do think he's actually one of the easiest characters in the game, but I'm trying to figure out like what is the criteria. But then you get Mai, and her ease of use is normal. It was like, what? Like, Mai is obviously one of the easiest characters in the game. So I was thinking maybe this got to do with the number of special moves that the character got. Like Luke has the fireball uppercut archetype, so he's normal. But Sagat also got that and he's easy. And Mai got that and she's normal. So it seems to me to be completely random. Another example is Zangief, which is like he's hard. And I'm thinking, alright, maybe because the 360 motion is kind of difficult, so Zangief is hard. Maybe I can see that. But then you check out Lily, and Lily is easy. And I find it weird that Lily is easy. Like, I think if you can play Zangief, you can play Lily, right? And if you can play Lily, you can play Zangief. They both have the 360. I would actually argue that Lily is harder since she have an uppercut. Like, genuinely, if you want to be great at Lily, you need to have an uppercut game and be able to do 360 motions on demand. So that's kind of random. And why is Marisa easy? Like, I don't think Marisa is easy at all. Like, above the complete beginner level, Marisa actually is quite difficult to play. So I'm not gonna fret over it so much, since I know a lot of this information is very arbitrary and very thrown together. But if the idea is they wanna give you an idea as a beginner, a lot of it is comically mistaken. Let's just put it that way. Now let's talk about some stuff that got to do with balancing that doesn't make much sense to me. And that got to do with moves and cancel properties, right? So we have a character like Sagat here, and for many others, they would have a level 3 that's typically like Sagat level 3. Typically, this is 12 frame startups, right? So if you're using it raw, if you're using it in juggles, 12 frame startup. That makes sense. But if you're doing uppercut into super, the super will have faster startup. So here you can see the super actually have 2 frame startup. And the idea behind this is simple. They want you to be able to do like anti-air uppercut or just like juggle uppercut into supers and having that work out, right? So even in a juggle like that, you're gonna get that consistently, right? That makes sense, right? Because especially in the older games, for some characters, this used to drop a lot, so that makes sense. But the thing is, this is not consistent across the board. This is very cherry-picked, which is kind of hilarious, and I don't know why, to be honest. Like, for example, Luke kind of has the same thing going, where his level 3 is gonna be 10 frame startup, right? And Luke is actually able to uppercut cancel into level 3. It actually works for him. But for Luke, his level 3 is still a 10 frame starter move. It's not a 2 frame starter move like Sagat. And I find that to be very odd, right? Like, they gave Luke this in the recent match where he gets like the light knuckle into the uppercut in the corner. So they gave him that, but and a lot of his buffs all over the years actually seem to suggest him being able to get more damage. Like they even give him the ability to combo an uppercut here. So if Luke is actually able to get an uppercut cancel at this point, would that actually break him? Like if he's getting the level 3 here, would that be too broken? I don't know. Like I find it really odd how cherry-picked this is, because it works for Luke, but it works for Sagat and Akuma and Ryu, but not for Luke, not for Cammy. So I don't know. Like I find it to be really weird. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say about it. I find it to be really odd. Speaking of odd, another thing I find to be totally weird about Chun-Li, since I was playing a lot of Chun-Li recently, I find her stance to be very weird. Let me start first by saying that one of the things about Chun-Li in stance is that she can get into stance and get out of stance, right? Typically you do fireball backwards to enter stance and then another fireball backwards to get out of it, right? So fireball, another fireball, you get out. What I find to be interesting is that there is nowhere in the game where they actually say that you're able to do this, right? So when you actually check out the move list for Chun-Li, Serenity Stance, it says that you can enter it now. There is light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick, and that's it. There is nowhere in the game, even in the character demonstrations, it doesn't say anywhere that you're able to get out of stance. Unlike, say, Alex. I think with Alex they do tell you that you can. Oh my God, they don't say that with Alex as well. Okay, it does actually say can be cancelled with up, right? So it is there, can be cancelled with up, but not with Shun. With Chun-Li, it is not described anywhere that you can actually use another fireball motion to get out of stance. So that is what is that about, and why wasn't that updated? I don't know. But there's nowhere where they tell you that this is what you're supposed to do, which I find to be weird. Since that is a big part of her game. And this stance also is very weird in how it functions. So Chun-Li can enter and get out of stance, and there is a certain number of frames where you're gonna be able to recover, right? So it's gonna be 37, right? If I'm doing it the fastest possible, as you can see, it's gonna be 37 frames, 37 frames total. And there are knockdowns where you wanna use this. For example, if I go for a heavy kick legs into heavy kick tenshu, that typically leaves Chun-Li at a +5 advantage, which means that if I get into stance, get out of stance, I should be -2, right? Right, so I did it, I'm -2. You're with me so far? That makes sense. So here's the thing. For some reason, you can cancel the final couple of frames. I think the final 4 frames of recovering out of stance, you can cancel them into normals so that you're actually acting faster than the 37 frames. So we're gonna have Sagat wake up with a jab, right? So he's waking up with a crouching jab. See? So despite me supposedly being -2, Chun-Li is actually cancelling out of the recovery earlier so that you're able to get the meaty. When I started playing Chun-Li again this season, I was baffled. I was like, why is this working? And I find it to be completely odd, but this actually sets up like really good situations for Chun-Li. The idea is if you enter stance into overhead, it's gonna be meaty, but obviously then you got the option to go low as well with the crouching light kick, like you get out of stance into low. Obviously not a very optimal combo, but that is pretty much the idea, right? So it's incredibly weird how all of this work. I find it kind of odd, but yeah. So there you go, and there's a lot of exceptions in the game as well. Like I said, Street Fighter 6 is a game of exceptions. Another character that got like a really weird exception is Terry, right? And I talked about this many times before, where Terry's medium charge typically, let's actually not wake up with a jab, so you can have a good idea on this. So Terry does the wake up power charge, and typically this have 23 frame of recovery, right? And the idea is if I do level 2, this will actually be like 19 recovery frames. And the weird thing is that this only works for the level 2. If I try to combo like a level 3, I can't cancel the final recovery frames. He's stuck with the 23 recovery, and the same with the level 1, right? He still got a 23 recovery frames, but with the level 2, he actually cancels out the final couple of frames for the level 2. So it's like, it's such an exception to make this combo specifically work, and I find that to be a little bit weird. And the game is full of stuff like that, where it is designed in such a way where only specific stuff work, and I find that to be a little bit odd, to be honest. Now, that's it for today's video. Let me know what stuff about this game that you find to be a little bit odd, that you're weirded out that it works for some characters but not for others, exceptions in general, stuff that make you like, I mean, why is it this way? I would love to hear all about it in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe.